There are moments in life when happiness feels like a foreign language you were never taught, a code everyone else seems to understand while you're left flipping through empty pages, searching for instructions that don't exist. You wake up and try to live like everyone else, smiling when you're supposed to, working, talking, going through routines. But beneath it all, there's this heavy emptiness that clings to you like a shadow. It's not that you don't want to be happy, you crave it more than anything, but it feels like every time you get close to it, the smallest thing pulls it out of reach. A simple mistake, something so tiny that others would brush it off, hits you like an earthquake, shaking the foundation of your world. Maybe you send the wrong message, say the wrong word, forget a small detail, or stumble in front of someone, and instantly your mind turns that moment into proof of your worthlessness. While others shrug, laugh, or move on, you spiral, replaying it over and over in your head until it grows into a mountain that crushes you. It's not about the mistake itself, it's about what your mind tells you it means. It tells you that you're not good enough, that you'll never measure up, that happiness isn't for someone like you. And in those moments, when the mistake feels heavier than your entire being, you don't just feel sad, you feel like you don't even want to exist. It's not that you want to die, it's that you want the pain of existing to stop. The endless cycle of self-criticism, regret, and emptiness. You feel tired of the constant war in your head where happiness is always just out of reach, like a carrot dangled in front of you but never close enough to grasp. And the cruel part is, no one sees it. To the world, you're just quiet, maybe sensitive, maybe too hard on yourself, but they don't know how loud your thoughts are when you're alone. They don't know how one small mistake echoes in your mind like a scream in an empty hallway. They don't know how something that would be a passing inconvenience for someone else feels like a sentence of shame for you. And so you keep living in this strange in-between, where you want to find joy but you don't know how, where the smallest setbacks make you want to disappear, and where you wonder if you'll ever break free from this cycle. But even in that darkness, there is a truth you can't ignore. The fact that you feel this so deeply, the fact that you care this much, means you're human, means you're alive, means there's something in you that still wants to fight, even if you don't see it yet. Happiness isn't about never making mistakes, it's about learning to forgive yourself when you do. And maybe one day you'll look back and realize that the same mistakes that once made you want to vanish were actually the lessons shaping you into someone stronger, someone who learns that existence, even when it hurts, is still worth it. When you live with a mind that is so easily shattered by small mistakes, it can feel like the world is made of fragile glass, always on the edge of breaking. A single misplaced word, a forgotten step, a small slip in judgment, becomes magnified into something catastrophic. The moment it happens, the person feels a flood of emotions: shame, regret, self-anger, and despair. As if that mistake has erased all the good they've ever done, as if it has somehow rewritten their identity into one of failure. They replay it in their head over and over, unable to let go, convinced that others will never see them the same way again, or worse, that they are unworthy of love, acceptance, or even existence. Happiness becomes elusive not because life is devoid of good things, but because the weight of perfectionism, insecurity, and inner criticism blocks the ability to enjoy those good things. When the person tries to smile or pretend to be okay, it feels like a mask that cracks the moment another mistake is made. The truth is, they don't know how to be happy, because their definition of happiness is tied to being flawless, never stumbling, always being enough. And because that standard is impossible, they end up living in cycles of self-punishment. But the deeper tragedy is that this mindset erases perspective. Every human makes mistakes, every life is full of imperfections, and even those who seem confident or strong are stumbling in ways unseen. Yet, the person caught in this cycle doesn't see that truth. They only see themselves as uniquely broken. This feeling of not wanting to exist doesn't come from the mistake itself, but from the belief that making mistakes makes them unworthy of existence. If only they could step outside that thought, even briefly, they might notice that their existence is not defined by flawless performance, but by their persistence, their capacity to grow, their ability to try again. Happiness isn't built from never falling, it is built from standing back up, learning, and finding meaning, even in the imperfect. Still, when someone has lived so long with the shadow of self-criticism, it takes time to relearn this truth. They may resist, clinging to the idea that their pain makes them unlovable or hopeless. Yet, if they could gently allow themselves compassion, even once, they might discover that mistakes don't erase worth, they reveal humanity. They might begin to see that happiness is not a constant smile, but a fragile, growing plant that needs patience, nurturing, and forgiveness. And with time, they might learn that every mistake is not the end of existence, but another step in a long, messy, human journey, where the simple act of breathing and continuing forward is proof enough that they belong. Sometimes, the hardest part about life is not the big storms, but the smallest cracks that appear when you least expect them. You spill your coffee before work. You say something awkward in a conversation. You miss a deadline, or you forget to text someone back. To most people, these might seem like tiny, forgettable mistakes. But for someone carrying invisible weight inside, those small mistakes feel like heavy proof that they're not good enough, that they're failing at life, that maybe they don't even deserve to be here. It's as if the mind takes a magnifying glass to the error and whispers, "See? This is who you are, a failure." And when that thought repeats over and over, the person can feel crushed under the pressure of their own existence. It becomes a cycle. A mistake happens, emotions rise like an uncontrollable wave, and suddenly that wave crashes into self-doubt, shame, and even hopelessness. It's not really about the mistake, it's about what the mistake represents to them. To someone struggling with self-worth, a small error doesn't feel small. It feels like the universe pointing out their flaws, reminding them they don't measure up. And when that pain lingers, it can create the haunting thought that life itself might not be worth enduring if it's always going to hurt this much. But here's the truth: those thoughts are liars. They may sound convincing, but they're distortions, built from years of criticism, unmet expectations, or silent battles that nobody else can see. When the brain says, "You don't deserve to exist," it's not delivering reality, it's delivering pain. And pain is temporary, even when it feels permanent. Mistakes are not life sentences. They are just moments. Moments that fade. Moments that teach. Moments that can be overcome. If you are the person who feels destroyed by tiny setbacks, it doesn't mean you are weak. It means you have been fighting for so long that even small drops of water feel like floods. And the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still searching for a way to cope it, means you are stronger than you realize. Happiness may feel far away, almost impossible, but it begins with remembering that your worth is not measured by mistakes. Your worth exists because you exist. You are not the sum of your errors, you are the sum of your resilience, your heart, your ability to keep moving forward even when life hurts. Yes, mistakes will come again. Yes, you might feel like breaking down when they do, but slowly, piece by piece, you can learn to remind yourself, this mistake does not define me. It is just a passing shadow. Even when the shadow feels endless, the sun is still there waiting to break through. And no matter how convincing the voice of despair might sound, your life has meaning far beyond the struggles of today.